Well, hello there, everybody. How are you doing? Yes, the angelic voice of Karen Carpenter. Mm-mm-mm. Left us way too early, but anyway, so how are y'all doing? It is hump day, so good to see ya. And I hope, let me see, am I even in the right place? I am now. It's like, well, that didn't look familiar, didn't look familiar at all, but it is now. So it's good. So it shows you the favor thing works, man. That's all I got to tell you. So welcome everyone. So good to see you. Well, nothing missing, nothing broken. hmm Favor meaning it gives us access to the very best this realm has to offer. It's got a lot to offer, to say the least. So, what's up, everybody? Bosto, be of service to others. That way, when you need the service, it'll be right there, right? Happy birthday and anniversary if you got one. So, welcome everyone in the chat room. Hello, moderators. Much love to you. Thank you all. Boy, Judy, Kelly, John, Deborah, Emperor Rex, Ann, good to see you. I think I saw Gilbert in there. So, hey, tribe, a little bit of thing about Gilbert. Get this. Gilbert rode his bike up to Sturgis. Got lots of cool pictures of it. And get this, Gilbert's like 75. Yeah. Lives right here in Colorado. And anyway, Gilbert, sending you out much love, brother. And keep on trucking. That's all I got to say. Hey, Shannon, what's up, Truth Seeker? Good to see you. And Cheryl. William, hello. Good to see you. Genetically Modified. Good to see you as well. Project Skyfall. Elderberry, thank you. We'll be getting in touch with you. And what else is going on? The bright shirt, yeah. Mm-hmm. Only two ways to go about it, and we shine so bright, man, you have to wear the shades. So and I'm saying, if you like the color, own it. That's the way I look at it. And hey, they'll spot you a mile away, and that's the way it seems to be. Hey, Dark Truth, good to see you as well. Odin, good to see you. Bonnie, hello. Walking Water, good to see you. Yes, I love yellow. It's one of those colors, it just makes you feel good. It like empowers you, you know? Yeah. So let the sunshine, right? Hey, Gaza, how you doing? All the way down in Australia. How's it going, brother? Good to see you. Susie Q, you looking fine, girl? Lost and ruined my ass in the process. That's what Gilbert did say. He says his ass was sore. Mine would be too. Hey, Robert V, good to see you, lost in space. Hello. Yeah, there are just some things, they're unavoidable. That's all I got to say. Gilbert, man, I got to tell you, that's tough, brother. That's like, tenacity, it's like, damn it, I'm going to do it no matter how much my butt hurts. So what's happening? The who's it? Missy Be Awakened. Missy Be Awakened. I like that. How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. So bad news everywhere, man. I mean, holy crap. There's no escape. It's freaking everywhere. And man, it's like we were talking yesterday with Trina. Trina, much love to you, darling. I know you're listening. Brian, 1958, how you doing? Jules, much love to you. It's everywhere. The fear. I mean, it's being pumped up on, it's like steroids. And, I think at some point, you just become either numb to it or you just ignore it. And it dawned on me that really there's two paths here. You can take the path less traveled, fear less, or you can take the path that is, how shall we say, full, overflowing, fearful. So the meaning of the word fearless, obviously, is that you have less fear. I don't know if you ever rid yourself, because let's just be candid. There is a certain amount of fear that is very good for us. It's like pain. Those people that are born with the abnormalities, I'm thinking abnormalities, yeah, that don't feel pain. If we didn't feel pain, it would be a real sorry existence here. I mean, these bodies would be damaged. So fear is, there's a certain amount of it, but then, there's a line. You go, all right. I mean, I like drinking water, but I like drinking it at a pace that I can handle. I don't want a fire hydrant. I can't drink that. And if I did, I'd end up hurting myself. Yeah. So, and then you got the fearful, and, that's full of fear. Sucks. And when you look around us, it's like, come on, folks, is it really this there? I refuse to accept that there's only one outcome. There's only one future. No. If we're the reason for all of this, then we're the reason for solving it. So get your magic in order. That's all I got to tell you. So for me, prosperity, defined for R. Wayne Steiger, is that you're in a place where all your needs are met. Your wants are that which you desire to manifest. But if you have all of your needs met, it opens up a plethora of new opportunities, darling. I mean, you can pursue that artist that was squelched because, someone in your family, maybe your father, said, what, you think you're an artist? Whatever it is, the poet, the sculptor, the scientist, the philosopher, because you don't have to work. Now, people say, well, if you don't have to work, everything will go to shit in handbags. Yeah, not necessarily. There are, and for the vast majority of people that really, if they could find that which they were best suited for, they would thrive at it. And in a society, everyone has a part to contribute. So I don't think that would be the case. I think that if we had the opportunity to where every human being, and what are your basic needs? Shelter, right? We have to have an environmentally controlled environment. I mean, it's just the way it is, unless you live in San Diego or somewhere along that. Food, obviously. Clothing, obviously. Health, obviously. What else? And you could probably just add your own things. But if all of those things were met for you, what would you do? What would you pursue? Because if you want to manifest in your life, it's going to be very difficult for anything to manifest other than chaos, unless you can get really specific about what it is that you want, what it is that you need. And now ask the question, if all of those were met, what would you do? What would you pursue? Yeah. I mean, think about it today. I mean, I'm really digging this paranormal investigation. It's cool. I love philosophy. I love the opportunity of being able to manifest that which was within me. Pretty cool. So I'm curious, chat room, what would y'all do if you had, and in those who are listening on the replay, and thank you for hitting the like button. hit the like button. Apparently the algorithm is even now really tuning in. So like button. Thank you. Appreciate it. Much love to you. Show an act of kindness. You'll get an act of kindness. There we go. So what would you do if all your needs were met? You didn't have to get up in the morning. You didn't have to go to bed. What would you do? Now, some sociologists believe that the realm that we live in, and I use that word realm, it demands that you do work. It demands that you must pay for the privilege of being here. And in today, that's, holy crap, it's manifested in a whole lot of different ways. But yeah, and think about that. Somebody's manifesting all this, and I'm going, oh, wait a minute. Am I contributing to it by even giving it knowledge or acknowledgement? No. Chargo says dumpster dive. Harry says find an adventure filled with surprises. I like that. Just reading some of it. It's a good question. It will tell a lot about you. So all of your needs are met. What do you do now? Now, I think you're going to enjoy this. Hey, Mary Wins, how you doing? Walking Walter says, create. You're doing that right now. You really are. William Michael Forbes, attention sets energy into motion. Yes, it does. Constantly meet the needs of others. Wow, Boxcar Willie. By the way, hello, how are you doing? Like that. Be of service to others. Well, there we go. A lot of philanthropic people here. I love that. Kind of tells you what's all you about. So let's get into this. So how many of you've done this quantum charting? We're going to be dealing with the book Emotional Freedom and the Science of Getting Rich. Again, in order to get to that place where all your needs are met, then you're going to have to be the one that's really going to be steering the ship. And we all have these natural gifts and talents. They show up in so many different ways, but we're going to be stealing this. So I did mine. Here it is. You can see that I am a generator, alchemist. Inner authority is evolutionary authority, the sacral. And as you get further down the path of life, you can look back and you go, yeah, that's true. Let's see, profile, visionary leader, responder. Strategy is to respond, theme, satisfaction, frustration. So you get into all this, and I've left the link. This is Karen Carey's work, I believe. You can do it yourself. I've had this for years, and it's always fun to go back, because if you look into the sacred chakra right here, look at the sacral. Look at what number is highlighted. 29. Yeah. You see, there are some things that we carry with us all the way through. And this is for me, this is a sign that I am really in tune with my spirits. So want to get into this. This is a book. It's free. Again, Karen Curry Parker, love her work. You can subscribe to her as well. So I like what she starts here with, and we'll get into this because we're going to dissect me. Yeah, I'm on the menu today. Oh, that's like a smorgasbord. I mean, come on. So how many of you find, can you say this? Yes. Can you say yes? You see, saying yes is extremely important, Because if you can use the word yes to the following, yes, all my needs are met. Yes, I am extremely wealthy. Yes, I am prosperous. Yes, I have favor. If you can put yes to the front of that, it kind of begins to get the river flowing, so to speak. So you have to realize that you have the right to be rich. Planet Earth is not in short supply of anything. And if you ever hear people saying that, they ain't telling the truth. Well, it's truth for them because they perceive everything through a different set of lenses. So it says, whatever may be said in praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life unless one is rich. And, I know we can get into all the esoteric, discussions that, well, money is money is nothing. Money is a tool. To be very candid with you, and I come out of the payment industry, I've invented 2 different payment systems. Money is an illusion. Unless you have physical gold or silver, which is damn heavy. Yeah. So it's amazing then when you begin to think about it on our daily acts of commerce, we are creatures that are very blind. We have convinced ourselves in manifesting that these transactions we do have value. Why? Well, because the value allows you access to more of the, and you could say leisure. Some believe that leisure is the key that collapses all societies. But if you have leisure, luxury, then you have a lot more opportunities because you don't have to get your butt up at 5 o'clock in the morning, going into a job where you got to be dealing with assholes all day. Although you're trying to be the light of the world, they're just constantly pissing on your parade. Now, if you have levels of wealth, you get to a point where no one is doing such to you. Says no man or woman can rise to his or her greatness, the greatest possible heights and talents or soul development. I want to stop right here because Karen, you nailed it, darling. I think one of the most serious cancers in society today is the fact that our society, our politics, even our religions deny the average human being the opportunity to develop their souls. We are, in fact, a soulless society. Humanity has become and probably lost its soul. There are remnants, pockets, and that's why we fight hard. We came into this knowing that. So, or soul development, unless he or her has plenty of money. For to unfold the soul and to develop talent, one must have many things to use, and one cannot have these things unless he has money to buy them with. It's true. I knew this all my life. My life path was well chosen. I planned it before I ever came in. But let me tell you, folks, and many of you know this is true, I didn't count on the wild card. Because when that wild card was played at a very early age for me, I was at the right place at the right time. 6 blocks away from me was Steve Jobs, where he grew up. We went to the same elementary school. But then something happened. So it really then becomes the fact that wealth, I got to be candid with you. was a disciplined individual where it came to reprogramming the mind, because I was carrying a legacy of negative energy. And that was gifted to me by my own parents. A hell of a legacy. That what they left me was fear, doubt. I mean, when a young mind is exposed to daily threats of violence, hunger, fear, these are elements that were not natural, but it was the gift of those that supposedly loved me. So for me, the process of shedding those parasites was a lifelong journey. And the thing about it is, if you don't shed these things, they will rob you. They will rob you of your destiny. They will change your fate. Now, someone needs to hear this. It's true. And the thing about it is that it's like a brain tumor that has the tendrils that spread out where the core tumor is. And it begins to seep into every aspect of the brain. It's the same way spiritually. It's the same way with your soul. Many of you struggle to have the basic needs of your life met. And it's been a point of great confusion, wondering, why does it seem to be so goddamn hard to make material things manifest? To own your own home, to be debt-free, to have enough that where you could go out and do whatever you want for society. Well, certainly got off on that tangent, didn't we? Someone needed to hear that. And I don't have a problem bearing my soul before everybody. I mean, these are the things. I mean, it's a success story. I got a great crowd that surrounds me. These spirits have been with me for a very long time. And I guess as you get older, you begin to realize you can't do this, by yourself. You have to have the knowledge. And because we strip ourselves of that knowledge, that's what makes this such the adventure. I mean, many of us have done this before. And the gods, where we all come from, they do have a sense of humor. Says, oh, so you think you got this figured out, do you? Uh-huh. Well, we didn't want to say anything while you were here. We waited till you left. But we all got together and said, nah, he may have had it figured out, but let's see if we throw him a curveball. Let's see how he reacts. Uh-huh. Who's the man? Who's the man? I feel like that rooster, They said a man develops in mind, soul, and body by making use of things. And society is so organized that man must have money in order to become the possessor of things. Therefore, the basis of all advancement for man must be the science of getting rich. And there is a science to it. There is a science to be getting lucky. Did you know that? Do you want to be? I'm very lucky. Extremely lucky. I'm very lucky at gambling. I don't do it. I dabble occasionally when we need extra income and what have you very quickly. You can do all sorts of different ways, but I'm very lucky. Always have been. But I also know that that can be a trap. If I start depending upon my luck, I've cheated myself. Because the whole point is that I created it to begin with. Now, favor, that's something I am intimately with. I mean, yeah, serious intimacy with favor, no doubt about it. The object of all life is development, and everything that lives has an inalienable right to all the development it is capable of attaining. I confess over myself, over my wife, over my dog, over everything. We shall have long life, fully satisfied, nothing missing, nothing broken. Best way to go. When you leave, go out happy, go out fully satisfied, saying, I did it all. Had the opportunity and, went from rich man, poor man to rich man. By the way, great series. How many of y'all remember that? Rich Man, Poor Man? Mm-hmm. The Thornburgs and, Blue and Gray. And anyway, so man's right to life means his right to have the free and unrestricted use of all things which may be necessary to his fullest mental, spiritual, and physical unfoldment. Or in other words, your right to be rich. And rich can be whatever you want it to be. I mean, the body, it's a marvelous, it's alive, and if you have that peakness where the body is living its full measure, I mean, the spirit, the mental, the rest of it, you've got a runway. Here it says in this book, she says, I shall not speak of riches in a figurative way. To be really rich does not mean to be satisfied or contented with a little. No man ought to be satisfied with a little if he is capable of using and enjoying more. The purpose of nature is the advancement and unfoldment of life. And every man, woman, child should have the right that should have all that can be contributed to the power, the elegance, the beauty, and richness of life. To be content with less is sinful. The man who owns all he wants for the living of all the life he is capable of living is rich. No man who has not plenty of money can have and no man who has not plenty of money can have all of his wants. Life has advanced so far and become so complex that even the most ordinary man or woman requires a great amount of wealth in order to live in a manner that even approaches completeness. Every person naturally wants to become all that they are capable of becoming. And that's the thing about life. You get so freaking beat down that you fail to understand, sweetheart. You've got unlimited potentiality, no matter what the clock says. Every person naturally wants to become all they are capable of becoming. This desire to realize innate possibilities is inherent in human nature. We cannot help wanting to be all that we can be. Success in life is becoming what you want to be. You can become what you want to be only by making use of things, and you can have the free use of things only as you become rich enough to buy them. To understand the science of getting rich is therefore the most essential of all knowledge. There is nothing wrong in wanting to get rich. The desire for riches is really the desire for a richer, fuller, and more abundant life. And that desire is praiseworthy. The man who does not desire to live more abundantly is abnormal. And so the man who does not desire to have money enough to buy all he wants is abnormal. There are three motives for which we live. We live for the body, we live for the mind, and we live for the soul. No one of these is better or holier than the other. All are alike desirable. And no one of the three, body, mind, or soul, can live fully if either of the others is cut short of full life and expression. It is not right or noble to live only for the soul and deny the mind or the body. And it is wrong to live for the intellect and deny the body and the soul. We are all acquainted with the loathsome consequence of living for the body and denying both the mind and soul. And we see that real life means the complete expression of all that man can give forth through body, mind, and soul. Expressing life through the triune being that we are. And we are a triune being. It's amazing what bipedals can actually be. And maybe that is one of the differentiators about us, is that maybe not all bipedals are truly triune beings. Maybe they're bi beings. I don't know. Quadruple beings. Who knows? Wherever there is unexpressed possibility or function not performed, there is unsatisfied desire. Desire is possibility seeking expression or function seeking performance. Wow, I love that. Wow. Wherever there is unexpressed possibility or function not performed, there is dissatisfaction, unsatisfied desire. Desire, I love that, is possibility seeking expression or function seeking performance. You know, so many of y'all are so gifted in so many different ways. It's remarkable. And that is the expression that makes you uniquely you. You're looking good, baby. Man cannot live fully in body without good food, comfortable clothing, and warm shelter, and without freedom from excessive toil. Rest and recreation are also necessary to his physical life. There was always a verse in Proverbs that says that the Lord maketh rich and adds no sorrow or toil with it. So think about it. Wealth coming to you, right, with no sorrow. That's pretty cool. And you don't have to labor for it. You don't have to go to work. And let's just be quite honest. The fact is, I don't know very many companies that actually pay their employees what they're truly worth. I mean, I think it sucks that you have these large corporations where you have these so-called CEOs, which are just the same as you and I. They take a crap and have to wipe their ass every day as well as you and I. And you know what? Their shit stinks just like yours and mine. But yet they can make, $10 million a month. For what? Now, it's not an easy job, but the point is it's out of kilter. Anyway, and I do believe capitalism is a good form of commerce, but I think it can be out of balance as well. But getting back to the fact that, you've got to have the food, got to have good clothing, warm shelter. Gene Roddenberry had this. I mean, that was the whole premise of Star Trek, that man somehow, after reaching to the precipice of annihilation, looks within the maw of, the void, and realizes that we're the ones that he can either go forward or go backwards on this. And that somehow or another, and I don't know how, maybe we're the seeds to that somehow humanity found within itself that, hey, It's us doing this. Let's stop this shit and let's start being much more, let's pursue the soul. Let's pursue the mind. Let's make sure every citizen has a house, a place where they have access to good food and clothing, education that's not driven by an ideology that would be counter. I mean, science can be just that, science. Philosophy can be just that, philosophy. Doesn't always need a motivation behind it, right? Goes on to say he cannot live fully in mind without books and time to study them, without opportunity for travel and observation, or without intellectual companionship. Imagine if we, as a race, a species, that what we did with our young is that we expose them to different parts of the world in their education. That way, you're not localized in your view of reality. You realize that the world is much larger than what most of us think, and we're all not the same. But yet we all have the same desires and wants. To live fully in mind, he must have intellectual recreations and must surround himself with all the objects of art and beauty he is capable of using and appreciating. I think the thing that we have done and we're finding now is we've, as a society, and this is really a tragedy, the trade schools. There was a time, there was an alternative to college. You could go into a trade school and become an apprentice, eventually becoming a journeyman, eventually becoming a master. Those are coming back because we're realizing that artisans come in many different forms and in many different genres. A master carpenter, amazing. A master stoneworker, a bladesmith. I mean, you can just go on. These are arts. They're crafts. They're a trade. But today's society, we think having that goddamn black box is everything. And then, boy, if I don't have the newest one, well, I'm somehow being denied. You know, it's like, what? We were given our hands to create with. Works of art, beauty, in architecture, in designing a lampshade. To live fully in soul, man must have love, and love is denied expression by poverty. Wow. And love is denied expression by poverty. Poverty is a curse. A man's highest happiness is found in the bestowal of benefits on those he loves. Love finds its most natural and spontaneous expression in giving. Come on, we all love to give. Lynn and I, back in the day when restaurants were actually open, we considered it kind of our ministry, was to always give the waitress or waiter $100 besides the tip. I tell you, we saw more than one literally break down, start crying. And time after time, when we were led to do that, which was most often, without fail, each person had a specific need. Now, that $100 bill slipped to them when many of them didn't even know it, and they all came back later. Changed people's lives. It gave them hope in humanity. And many of y'all do it in the same different ways. That's what makes giving the highest magic there is. If your magic is lacking, look at to where your charitableness is. You may find that there needs to be a balance. The man who has nothing to give cannot fill his place as a husband or father, as a citizen, or as a man. It is in the use of material things that a man finds full life, for his body develops his mind and unfolds his soul. It is therefore the supreme importance to him that he should be rich. It is perfectly right that you should desire to be rich. If you are a normal man or woman, you cannot help doing so. It is perfectly right that you should give your best attention to the science of getting rich, for it is the noblest and most necessary of all studies. If you neglect this study, you are a derelict in your duty to yourself, to your God, and to humanity. For you can render to your God and humanity no greater service than to make the most of yourself. Yeah. So anyway, let's take a look. So for myself, you can see that you got this green up here, and we're going to get into that. Then it gets into, I think that's the throat area, the spleen, and then the sacral, and then the final one down there. Yeah, down there. So let's go and take a look at some of this. By the way, she has exercises to each and every one of these. For instance, exercises for chapter 1. What does being rich mean to you? And if you're not writing this out, folks, I can't tell you the importance of writing things down. When you, and let me tell you, if you want to add even a little bit more to it, if you're doing it on your computer, go out and use clip art or other pictures that, boom, express exactly what you're writing. When you think of being rich, what kind of emotions come up for you? And again, do you believe that you can be rich? Yeah. I used to have a real guilt problem where that was. Somehow I wasn't good enough. Somehow I had done something. You know, oh man, you get into that guilt thing. Sucks. But anyway, do you believe that you can easily and joyfully become rich? Let me just say this right now. How do I say this? If it doesn't give you that feeling, that giddiness, that happiness about attaining wealth, then you need to re-examine where things are at. There's indicators. How do you feel about getting rich from doing work you love? I think that's really cool. I mean, I think every artist and every sculptor, every painter, it's amazing, should have the opportunity to have their own studio and then have their own showing, you know, their own gallery. I mean, yeah. Back in the day, I loved going to Soho in Manhattan in New York City, because it was down in the Soho district that all these freaking fabulous galleries are there. Had a good friend, Peggy, that when we were out, you know, doing, you know, our territory was large and calling on major clients, we always made room to be inspired. So those of you who are in sales, try this technique. I stumbled upon it kind of just by accident, but it works. Before you go into a sales call, you should be doing something that is fun. Don't know what it is. It could be having an ice cream. You have to find your own thing. But you see, once you let those endorphins saturate, you know, your state of mind, your success in closing are going to be far higher. I'm going to tell you why. Because you're walking in and you're carrying that thermone, and the client will pick up on that. And you have to understand, I know, because I've been on both sides of the table on this, that whoever you're calling on your prospect, remember others are calling them too. And it can be a burdensome to that person. It's part of their job. So when you come in as a ray of sunshine, and they're laughing, and they tell their secretary or their assistant that, hey, push back my next appointment, there's a reason for that. It's because they like you. They like that energy, man. All right. What do you think about getting rich from providing services to others? Yeah. 1998, I was at a symposium, and Bill Gates was the main speaker. And I'll never forget what he said. If you want to be rich, really rich, find a need that is, get this, socially adaptable for all demographics. You're virtually assured you're going to do just fine. Excuse me, I did not mean to bring in my business here. Yeah, it does ring quite often. What would your life look like if you were rich? Can I ask you right now? What would your life be different? How would it be different? You know, there is just so many different things that you can add to that. Write it down. So this is how she says to start the EFT, the effective training. Even though I feel guilty for wanting to be rich, even though I can't imagine being rich, even though no one in my family has ever been rich before, even though I think I'm getting rich from servicing of others as greedy, even though I don't know how to get rich. You see, you got to reprogram that. Do you feel guilty? Can you imagine? You don't have the family legacy? Do you really think it's greedy? And then here's the real big one. Do you even know how to get rich? If you don't know from this channel, come on, man. Because manifesting, it works. I have some stories I'm going to be telling you. I'm thinking about doing a show. I'd love to do a show of testimony. So I know there is, I'm going to set it up to where we can actually have call-ins come in, and we're going to do a whole show on testimonies. Testimonies are important. It's important for several things. It completes what it is, whatever you're testifying to, and it's an edifying, and it encourages others. So what have you manifested that you set specifically out? You did this. Is it a raise? Is it increase? I mean, what is it? And I'd like to do a show on that. So concluding the setup, even though I can't imagine being rich, I now choose to know that being rich is natural, healthy, and allows me to fulfill my destiny and life purpose. I have found myself saying that actually, as I sometimes talk in my sleep, as Lynn has been telling me, that she said I was dreaming and I was saying, it is my destiny. That's, yeah, you know, when your wife says, do you know what you were talking about last night? Not really. Well, let me tell you, it goes on. This is an affirmation. I can see myself enjoying abundant wealth, health, and relationships in ways that I never imagined before. My imagination, dreams, and faith about my abundant future grows every day. I really like this stuff. Woo, it is such a respite from all the others. So what am I? I am a generator manifesta, as they would say. So let me pull this down as he gets right up there. And I'm going to get to what a little bit of what it talks about, this manifester. What is a manifester? So this is what a manifester is. Let me pull it up here so you can get, well, I think I had it right. No, I went too far. You can have to get the book, and we may even go through some more of this because I do exactly what all right. So the manifester. Your wealth theme is what each type needs to honor and allow in order to create abundance. If you are not following your wealth theme, you're not accessing the full potential of your energy and the abundance in a way that is sustainable, healthy, and joyful. So as a manifester, as you can see, this is one of the predominant aspects. It says, as manifestors, life purpose, to translate inspiration into form. The strategy is to inform and then act. There is a anger to this, and the anger is well-deserved, and we'll get into more of this. Wealth theme is a non-verbal creative flow. The challenges of sustainability, burnout, power, not needing others, interruptions to creative flow, impact on others. And in this configuration, it says that it's less than 8% of the population has that. The life purpose of a manifester is to initiate action and creation. The manifester is uniquely different from all of the other types in that the manifester is the only type who doesn't have to wait for an outside force to help them recognizing right timing. And this ability of timing, if you have that instinct and you trust your intuition, it will lead you. Part of being lucky is taking advantage of the opportunity, and many times that opportunity is one of timing. Timing is crucial in so many different things. We all have an entry point, we all have an exit point that will be time-stamped. Manifestos have an inner creative process. The process is nonverbal and difficult to explain and express to others. So answering questions or asking for help is difficult for the manifestor because you have a hard time explaining what you're doing. When a manifestor is creating, they are simply moving. The timing of their movement is internal, and attuned to their unique creative flow. Once a manifestor gets an idea, to make it happen, all they have to do is wait for the timing to feel right and then go and take action. In addition, it is the role of the manifestor to process inspiration and translate it into action. It is the role of the manifestor to make an idea happen, even if they don't finish the job and do the grunt work associated with the manifestation of the idea. So a lot of times we will do the grunt work. We'll kind of lay the footing down, and we allow others to build upon it. I think that's kind of cool. That is the role of a generator types. It's their job in life to get the proverbial ball rolling. When they don't, it can actually cause them to shut down their creative energy and their power to manifest abundance. Because manifestors are often flowing in their own inner creative flow and consequently deeply in tune to their own process, it's easy for other people to misunderstand or to misinterpret the manifestor's energy. Boy, how many of you can say, yeah, I relate to that? Manifestors can make life easier for you and their loved ones if they learn to inform others before they follow their creative impulse. However, informing isn't natural or easy. Manifestos often have their energy shut down or their creative impulse judged or squashed. Because of this, many manifestors learn to hide their power and even hide when they're really up to it. What they're really up to. Manifestos are not here to be stopped or told what to do. They may have also felt that taking the time to find the words to express their creative flow is so difficult that it's easier for them to do things for themselves. Thank you very much. Than it is for them to try to find the words and ask for help. It can be also difficult if someone with the best of intentions tries to help them. In response, the manifester can feel angry if they have stopped what they're doing and try to find the words to describe them. Wow. Okay. So, as you saw in my chart, over here has the same configuration, which was interesting. So, leads from a manifester type to a generator and manifesting generator. We have this particular ability of being able to manifest. And, you know, when you get into the sacral, yeah, once again, you know, if you ignore one aspect of it, it gets out of balance. And we know that. She writes there are two different kinds of generator types, the pure generator and the manifesting generator. Manifesting generators are a mix of some of the themes of a generator and a handful of the themes from a manifester. But overall, the manifesting generator is first and foremost a generator type. Generator types have a life purpose of building and doing the work of the world. The ultimate goal of a generator is to find the work they love and to dedicate their life and energy to fulfill that calling. But as she points out, it can be tricky because the generator doesn't so much find the right work as much as allows the right work to find them. This is a small but vital shift in perspective that can make the difference between masterful and abundant life or a life filled with false starts, unmet expectations, and frustrations. Okay. So let's get her done. Come on. We can do this. Hey, Elder Barry, how are you doing? Good to see you. And see Testa. Kim, how are you doing as well? So, que sera. Good to see you. So, for what it's worth, you know, I know that, you know, where this channel is concerned, I really don't have a desire to grow it. You know, it's one of the places where it's ad free because I'm like you, hate always being pitched to. And it's an intimate little group. Yeah, may hit 45,000 here soon, but it's still an intimate group. We meet here most of the days, and things are changing on my end. Just to let you know, as next week comes, there are changes coming, and I will not be able to do this at the normal time. There will be a break, and then once that break is over, then we'll pick up. But you know, I don't care about, you know, hitting hundreds of thousands. It's not my purpose. You know, my purpose here is to share what we can experience together, and I like the intimacy of the group. And this chat room is a special place. It's a place that it's not threatening. There aren't rude people here. There aren't, you know, we don't have the nonsense that is so prevalent in others. So kind of see what we got is pretty special. And I thank all of you. The day is going to come. I know Grandpa Brian said they've moved the new date, I think, to September. I think it's the 11th through the 14th. I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll get him on and talk more. Okay, Sarah. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That's cute. I like that. So anyway, yeah, you know, it's a small reprieve. It's a sanctuary. And we can look outside going, you know, we're going to change that. Someone started that I believe we're strong enough to be the one to change it. I believe we have others on the other side. Brian, just a number of them. Carla, I can think, and Jerry, and quite a few others. And it's all because of y'all. We came together as, energy, and look what we've done. We formed a nucleus here, and it's all y'all's fault. All right, got to go. See you tomorrow. Emperor Rex says, I have that color shirt too. Well, there we go. You see, like people have it. I mean, come on, you're shopping and you see that. I mean, as you know, you got a number of different colors, but you're looking at this one, you go, yeah, that's me all over. William, thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Yeah, we all started with Planet X, isn't it? John, that is so true. It is so true. But yet, yes, it's a testimony, isn't it? I mean, we didn't stop. Our curiosity never stopped. It just said, okay, well, if that happens, let's, yeah. So here we are. All right, everyone. Much love to you. Hello, Michelle Reed. I haven't seen you in so long. It's so good to see you, dear. From Scotland all the way. You see, this group's all over the world. I mean, can't stop it. Can't stop it. All right, everyone. See you tomorrow, and make it the best of the time. Man, I mean, just get out there and have fun. That's the idea. Yeah. All right. Much love.